Starting off today's video, going to a Starbucks in Nihon Matsu and stalling in the driveway. I was in second gear trying to go up a driveway. I was thinking I could get away with it. It's been too long, Starbucks, my good old friend. How long's it been? 3 days without Starbucks? 3 days without coffee? Good coffee? We haven't had coffee in 3 days. Jeez, we should just keep this going and detox, but nah. So welcome to today's video, guys, where unfortunately we are heading back into Tokyo, into Yokohama where we live. It kind of sucks because I really was hoping May was going to be able to use a whole pair of tires and shred them and learn how to do donuts and figure eights, but it's okay, we're planning to come back, so we'll come back when Kuru Kuru Land is open and we'll be able to teach her, so it'll be sick. Anyways, it's time for coffee. Successfully received our coffees. And then, on our way back to the highway, found this little parking yard with what looked to be some old drift cars. They haven't been run in a very long time. This one looks like a bit of a missile. I'm gonna jump out and show you because it looks really cool. So it's very clear that most of these are probably drift cars. The biggest hint is obviously the Ebisu track slip here. And there's no year written on it, but we can see that this was in December 12th. So the 9th of December, this thing was driven last. But that design hasn't been used for that sheet in a very long time, like at least 2 years, I think. Because this is the new ones here with like the yellow and stuff. But yeah, relatively pretty clean. You can see he's definitely brushed up against some walls and stuff. He's got all these spare tires in the back. This C33 looks really clean. Honestly, it's pretty straight. Obviously 180, Laurel. Mirage and a 180 parts car of some kind. Looks like a lot of stuff's missing off this. There's a fair few like tires and stuff jammed in it. Wait, hang on a minute. This Mirage is tricked out for some grip racing. Jeez, fully caged. Yeah, okay. Someone's pretty serious with this thing. Very nice. Yeah, literally this C33 is super straight. He's got drift spares and wheels on the driver's and passenger seat. It's still got the lace and stuff on it. This thing is clean as. I really hope he's not drifting this. It's auto though. Can't be drifting an auto C33, surely not. And then you got this other 180 here, which is totally a drift missile. The guys definitely had some fun with it. Very good. There's a little motorbike exhaust on it. Interior, okay, there's, what? Zip tied a little bit of mesh there and put the cluster there. Oh, that's funny, it's all just stripped out for having fun. That's cool. Keeping the Ebisu missiles here. I guess like as long as you're paying like the landlord for parking, you can just store your missiles here. And then like, you know, if you get temporary plates or you got a frame with a tow truck, you can just take these there for Matsuri. I would not be surprised if these go to Matsuri every year. This one I don't think's moved in a long time though because of that old, oh, it looks like it's actually been on fire. That old slip there. But anyways, how cool's that? Now I did spot something else down here that I want to go check out. I really love coming out to places, you know, kind of far out of Tokyo like Nihon Matsu and stuff because you always find little things like this, like little storage yards and stuff just full of either abandoned cars or, you know, drift cars, you know, drift missiles and stuff from back in the golden days. This thing here is very cool and I haven't seen one in a very long time. So when I first drove past this, I initially thought it may have been like a Nissan Exa. But now obviously I know that that's definitely not what it is. This is an old Subaru and I've only seen one of these once before. Super, super cool. Has not been driven in a very long time. Very cool. Man, I've not seen one. Like this is still pretty straight. It's gonna need some rust repair and stuff, but very cool. Yeah, four-wheel drive, turbo, the VR turbo. Such a cool little old Subaru. The only Subaru I actually kind of like because it has the pop-up lights from the old, like this era, from this era. Sorry. I had no idea that that was going to be a Subaru VR. I literally thought it was going to be like a Nissan Exa or something. That's super cool. Taking a quick break to stretch our legs. So we're at a PA. So PAs here are like super organized. There's always like security guys in the car park. And this guy's taking his job to the next level. He's literally standing on the roof of the PA to call out over the radio where free parks are so that everyone can direct everyone to the free parks. Man, jeez. That's, I think this is the only time I've ever seen that at any PA, so. Guys, check out this insanity right now. The closer and closer we get to Tokyo, the more insane the rain is getting. Obviously, we can't really go the speed limit that the highway is set to because it's just getting crazy. I keep like aquaplaning and it's nuts. It went from a nice sunny hot day to just absolute this. Bummer, man. Back home now, and I just finished parking up the Skyline, and I have to say, she just keeps on going. Drove us for 4 hours to Ebisu Circuit, hotel and all that stuff. We drifted her, beat the balls off her. Like, I was not going easy on some of the clutch kicks I was doing, like red line drop. Thing just keeps running, won't give up. Drove us all the way home another 4 hours, so. Definitely got a special place for this car in my heart. Soon she's gonna get all fixed up, any rust on it fixed, the roof's gonna get all peeled off, and all of that's gonna get fresh load of paint and stuff. I'm excited. Wide body, new aero, so many cool things I got planned for this Skyline. I just cannot wait till everything lines up and we can just pull the trigger. It is now the next day. May and I, we pretty much just crashed the moment we got home. We were super exhausted from all the traveling. But it is now Sunday morning, and I want to start checking over the S15 because I have a drift event on Tuesday that I want to use the car for. Now, unfortunately, I did kind of discover something that's going to potentially prevent me from bringing the S15, which means I may need to take the Skyline. I need to find a new pair of front tires for this thing. I just took it out for a little bit of a drive and noticed it was super darty, and normally what that means is that there's a bunch of like inside camber wear. Now I do have this like max camber and it has a fair bit of toe, so it does wear on the inside a lot on that small contact patch. Now hopefully you guys can see this, but I've worn this tire down to its complete cords on the inside here. See that? So pretty much this thing would probably let me drive to the track and then I'd do one lap and then this side would probably pop. Now I have already flipped these as well, so unfortunately I've pretty much destroyed these tires, even though I could have gotten some more track days out of them. This side I don't think is all that bad. I think it's actually relatively okay. It's probably still really worn, but it's nowhere near as bad as the other side, that's for sure. And that's because this one's generally my leading tire, especially at the a lot of the tracks I drive at. This is normally the one I turn in the most on big entries. So I'm gonna try and find a brand new set of Valino Pergas. Hopefully I can get them on Monday. If I can't, then we're gonna have to go with the Skyline. I am gonna actually check if my Skyline front wheels will fit on this. They may. I can't remember if they're the same offset. They could potentially be. And because I have such a big spacer and stuff, we may be able to make it work. So I'll check that as well. If I can just switch the fronts on the Skyline, I think we'll be fine. And then I can get these switched out at Yashio Factory at a later date. But for now, just a regular checkup over everything, fluids and things like that. I also need to change the oil pan on this. We'll work that out on Monday as well. Hopefully I'll have enough time to get that done after sorting out whatever I'm doing with the tires. But I really do want to take this car to the track that I'm going to. The track that I'm going to be driving at actually holds a lot of sentimental value for me, and it's actually one of my personal favorites, just the way it's set up. You can do some really fast fun entries, and it's a lot of fun to drive, but it's also the first track that I actually went to an event with Oka-chan with, and he kind of like took me for a ride in his S chassis and stuff like that before I could even drift my Skyline. So it's kind of, you know, good memories associated with it. But yeah, I'm hoping to bring the S15. As I said, you know, when I was drifting at Ebisu, like the Skyline I'm so confident in. It's a heavier, longer wheelbase, so you know, this just feels completely schizophrenic to me, especially the last couple of events, which actually could be because of that front tire. I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't really check like everything over too much when I went to the last drift event, so potentially that's why I was struggling with it and it felt like so sketchy and darty all over the place. But yeah, once I get some new front tires on it, we'll see how we go. But I mainly just want to get more seat time in this thing. And then once I have a fair bit of seat time on it, if I still feel uncomfortable in this chassis, then I know I need to change something to do with my angle kit or suspension, because something just cannot be right the way that this thing sometimes feels. So when we go to this track day, if I get the S15 out there, I'm going to get Oka-chan to drive it as well and get him to see if he feels anything different with it. But I'm hoping it's just that my front tires are so like oddly worn like that from the toe and the camber wear, that's potentially what's causing it to feel super darty and all over the place. Not to mention, like, I do have the rear sway bar disconnected, so it does make it, like, in a straight line if you're going fast, kind of a little bit feels like the rear end's just kind of walking a bit. But that's fine, I understand that. I'm talking about the front end and how this thing handles on lock and angle and stuff like that. So a little bit of a pro tip for you guys, just kind of like sharing you everything that's going on with this chassis. And it got me really thinking, like, what could be wrong with it when I jumped in my Skyline. And don't get me wrong, two different chassis, they do drive differently. I'm also talking about, like, just the snappiness and how, like, it reacts and stuff with the angle kit itself. Now, like I said, two different chassis, so there are key differences there, but there is definitely something wrong with this because this does not drive like Oka-chan's cars do. I've driven those and they're way more like predictable and smooth, I guess, with transitioning. This thing, like, it wants to whip at angle and always over rotate way too quickly, more than what the car wants to, like, self-steer. And I've tried adding caster and everything and it doesn't seem to solve the issue. My next guess is if this doesn't solve it with the new tires and stuff and make it better, it's probably just that these knuckles have really odd Ackerman settings. So I may take the knuckles off. They're not Yashio factory knuckles. There's some random other knuckle here. They came on the car. We thought we'd give it a go. I think that they might have a really odd Ackerman setting and that's what's causing all the issues. But I'll know for sure once I put some new tires on it, because I'm really just starting to try and feel it out, and I can't get comfortable in a car when the Ackerman's just so bizarre like that, if that is the case. If it's tires, then we're good. I'm ranting on and I'm talking a lot, but a little bit of a chill video, coming home and just relaxing and sorting out issues with cars and trying to get to another drift event so I can get some seat time this week. I'm really trying to focus on seat time. It's so important to me that I get my skill so many more levels up, because I want to be able to start, you know, competing next year. And COVID's really kind of like put a bunch of pressure on that, and I'm really worried whether or not I'm going to reach my goal of all the seat time I want. But things keep going the way they are currently, we should be getting a lot more seat time. A lot of people have been asking about RC content, so I figured I'd bring the RX-8 out and see how this thing drives on the bitumen. I'm not expecting it to be incredibly amazing or anything like that, but figured I'd give it a go. I've never actually driven this thing out on the road or anything, so hopefully my neighbors don't mind. I have a Karen problem, and lately they haven't been too impressed with me, so I don't know. Actually, the battery should be still have some juice in this, maybe. I don't know. I almost forget, like, how I set this thing up. Let's have a bit of fun, hey? Oh, it just slips. All right, let's set the camera down somewhere so you guys can see. It's crazy how much this thing just spins. I'm actually learning, like, how to control it a lot more though, because it's, I don't know why I thought this, but I thought I could just, like, 100% throttle this thing, but you literally can't. It's just like a real car. You have to, like, work on the throttle and decide when you want to give it more gas and just kind of, like, feather it. It's really fun. I think May will really learn a lot from like learning to drive this, because, like, a lot of those same principles with this you can put into place with a real car. Look how fast this thing can spin. I think that's enough RC content for today. I'm pretty sure. Oh wow, yeah, I, like, tore up the tires on the bitumen here today. And I'm pretty sure, oh yeah, that motor is so hot, it burns. Need to get a brushless motor. Ooh, this has also developed a nice wobble. Need to get a newer motor because that thing just does not like LiPo power. This thing's a lot of fun. I need to show May how to drive this thing. Alright guys, gonna end the video here. I really hope you enjoyed it actually. Super chill vibes just heading home, and I really tried to focus on trying to capture like some of the things you expect to see like when traveling from place to place here in Japan. I really want to make sure that you guys try to experience that just as much as I do. Like, I've been living here now for nearly 5 years, and it still blows me away just how beautiful and clean like everything is in Japan, and just so many things are just always just like make me feel like calm, relaxed, and just chill, because it's just so beautiful to me. I don't know if you feel the same way. I hope you're enjoying the B-roll. I know a lot of you are commenting that you are. I'm enjoying like being able to film those kinds of shots because it shows you more of Japan and what I see day to day that I generally would take take for granted is the word I wanted to use. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you smash that like button, write us a comment. I'll see you all in tomorrow's video. Peace out. Jamata.